And we're green. Welcome, one and all, to another Community Tech podcast. Joining us today is a fan favorite, my first celebrity to ever come on, Mr. Carter Main. Hello, Carter, are
Oh
you
shit.
there? And he's not here. He's here, but he's not
Ah.
here. He's not here. Uh,
Failed.
yeah, I
Oh.
failed. Nah, I think he's in a Twitch match right now, so he'll jump in. Be jumping in and out. So how y'all fellas doing today?
He might not even
Uh,
come in.
We're doing good.
Man, I
well, we
queued
get
him up
we,
and everything. I give him the grand entrance and all.
we have
Ooh.
some news over at Big Red Verizon.
What you got? What you got,
Ne-
sir?
Next week they're doing some changes to Verizon FiOS.
FiOS. Like what type of changes?
I can't tell you that.
Wait. Hold on, sir. Hold on. Number one, you're not giving away anybody's names or anything.
If I tell you, then the people are gonna get caught and then they're gonna lose their job. And I
Oh, okay,
like
okay.
my
Uh,
connections.
yeah, look, I don't want nobody to lose their job. So, hey, look, that's just me, man. I don't want nobody to lose their job.
Because I've seen that happen.
No, I believe it. All right, so while I wait for some of our other personalities to hop in, I do want to ask y'all about this one. So, pulling it up.
Oh, snap.
All right,
Oh
so
no.
SpaceX and Viasat fighting over whether Starlink can meet FCC speed obligations. So there's a rumor, probably bigger than a rumor right now, that SpaceX speeds are starting to slow down. So when everybody, when you had only a handful of people on, it was, blazing. You're like, oh man, I'm getting 300 megabits a second in the woods. Now people are starting to average between 100, maybe 50, between 50 and 100.
That's Elon for you. he
Bro,
likes to
that's old news.
he likes to pull out
But,
on stuff that
but,
like
but
he did
bro,
with Twitter. So
I gotta tell you, the people that are getting these satellites, they're happy with 50 and 100.
Yeah.
Because people, they're not getting fiber over there in the middle of the woods. They don't have any coax. Maybe they have DSL.
Maybe.
Maybe maybe that taps out at 5, 10 megabits. So they're getting 50 to 100. They're happy with that.
I don't know, man. We got some from talking to people in the community, man. We got some bougie customers who would want Starlink when you can get fiber.
Starlink
What do you,
doesn't want the fiber customer.
Of course not. They want the people on the go customer. They want the people on the
No, they
boats.
they 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 want your Larry the Cable Guys. They want your RVers. They want the red ones.
No. They want the people on the boats. Like, Starlink is offering their services to people on airlines now and boats. Like, if you let's say you're in the middle of the ocean, the service for Starlink is like 15 times more than it is if you're on land. It literally costs you like $5,000 a month.
Mm.
Now, if you have a personal yacht, yeah, you could afford 15 grand. You know what I mean? But the a lot of people are saying, like, the Starlink, because they letting people roam with the service now. They that the speeds are starting to drop, especially in certain pockets of the nation now. So the same problem that me and Ash were talking about, where people start congregating all together, is starting to show up for SpaceX right now.
well, yeah, obviously, like in the woods where there's like a neighborhood of 100 people and there's no DSL and they're using it versus me in my neighborhood where there's fiber everywhere. And if I get Starlink, it's going to be over 100 because no one's going to be on it. But over there in the middle of nowhere, there's going to be a lot of people on that network.
That's true. But I mean, the thing is being able to have that internet freedom is costing people a lot more money. I mean, you want to be able to have you want to be able to stay off the grid, or you want to be in the woods, you want to be away from other people, but you still want to internet access. Starlink is the only way you're going to be able to do it for right now until fixed wireless starts popping up more.
Yeah.
What about you, Cabe? How you feel? What you think about Starlink and SpaceX? Honest opinions only.
Oh, they're crappy, and Elon is a freaking likes to pull out on deals like he did Twitter. He
Eh,
probably he probably freaking intentionally slowed him down. If I had to take a guess,
I feel like he overpromised. Like he does a lot of that. My personal opinion, I think that he likes to overpromise and underdeliver. He'll be like, the I call him the Flavor Flav of our time right now, right? He's just a billionaire that sits in front of somebody and says, "Man, we're going to Mars," and everybody jumps up and down and be like, "Yeah!" And then
he
I gotta
sends a
give him.
freaking
and then
he sends a
I,
freaking robot to Mars.
not even that,
but
not even close.
I gotta give him credit. If there was no SpaceX, then Viasat would have. They wouldn't merge. Starlink wouldn't merge. I mean, not Starlink. Viasat wouldn't allow other people to use the network.
Yeah,
That
Who
means
wants to use their network? They only get like 15 megabits per second with high latency.
Bro, but
people in the
people in rural
boats.
America are
Yeah.
happy with that type of speed.
I
Oh
mean, bro,
no,
if
I'm
you
talking
have
about
nothing versus you have literally you using your cell phone and you barely getting 1 to 2 megabits per second. I mean,
You
at
can
that
actually do
point,
three
you're just
streams
happy.
with that.
What did you say, Brandon?
I say you can actually do three streams with 15 megs.
But see, I didn't even say 15. I said you getting 1 or 2,
I mean three. I mean 3 megs. I'm sorry. I mean three streams on 15 megs. I'm sorry.
right? So no, I'm just saying in general, like with SpaceX, I feel like Starlink was overhyped, right? It's the promise of internet anywhere, okay? Then instead of just giving people real world, like, hey, look, the physics is gonna start working against you. Just like everybody was talking about how T-Mobile, and fixed wireless and all this other stuff was gonna happen to fixed wireless once you start getting more people on. This is actually starting to show up on Starlink right now because they don't have enough antennas in the sky yet. They letting people roam around, and then now you got multiple people in a single solitary area. Speeds are starting to drop. Now they have to put more antennas up in the sky, and that costs money, at billions of dollars. But the even after you finish doing all that, guess what? You're still going to run into the problem of too many users.
I mean, right now, I mean, recently, Viasat just started doing 100 megabits in some areas, not all of them, and up to 300 gigabyte cap, is uh, which is a massive amount for rural America for those that can't get DSL, fixed wireless, fiber, any of that stuff.
I,
Most of
I
the time
mean,
before that, it was less than 100 gigs.
but that's the thing. Like I think that over promising people, the first people who got on, is seeing like over 300 megabits per second. That's not realistic because the more people that get
But
on, the slower it's going to end up getting.
the thing is, the thing is that a lot of these people like, oh my God, like finally our prayers and answers are here and all this other crap. And I'm like, I'm over here thinking, oh, you poor person. Like we all know that it's all too good to be true. And there's a guy, I'm not gonna say who it is. He has his YouTube channel. He was always saying we're gonna have 5, 8 competitors on internet and blah blah blah. And I'm like,
Well, that's not gonna happen.
yeah, right. That's not gonna happen.
No, because understand you got to like the same reason why in cellular we only have three carriers, like three physical carriers that have antennas on the road, like on solid
Right,
surfaces. There,
right,
you could have 100 MVNOs, but you only got three carriers that actually got assets in the field because
right.
because physical stuff costs money.
It does.
I mean, why do you think that you don't have, multiple, water companies, right? Because imagine if you had 5 or 6 different people trying to provide water to neighborhoods. It would be crazy. You have pipes on top of pipes on top of pipes. But I wanted to find out how y'all might have felt about this one. Um, Give me a second. Ew, come back over. All right. I really wish no radio was in here because I really wanted to talk about that one of these other stories. Give me a second. All right, Ashay, you still here?
Yeah.
All right, here you go. This is right down my alley and your alley, sir. All right. So, how do you feel about the Fold 4 and its release date or announcement date, August the 10th? So,
And also pre-orders is the 26th.
what
I
do you
mean,
mean?
not pre-orders. You'll get the device on the 26th
Yeah,
or early if you reserve through Samsung. Um, have you seen the front screen?
this is I think I pulled this one up. It was showing some leaks. It looks just like the Fold 3.
Yeah, but the front screen is all screen.
It's all screen.
The majority of it is screen. Like you know how the front screen is narrow.
Yeah.
It's wider.
Huh. I know that
So
for me, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm a big Fold fan myself. I just I thought that maybe they would like go higher or go with a wider screen versus what they're doing right now.
oh yeah, that's not gonna happen because they have a lot of these produced, so it's cheaper to keep the same design. Usually, what they're gonna do is every 2 years they're gonna change the design
Hmm.
because it's cheaper because they already have the chassis and everything ready.
Didn't they say that this supposed to be a lot more slimmer also?
You know, and it's a couple pounds lighter.
Well, you know what? My Fold 3 wasn't really heavy,
Oh, it wasn't.
and the Fold 2 wasn't super heavy either. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, if you compare that to like my Note 10, it's size. It has a sizable heft to it.
And also, if you pre-order on Samsung, you're getting free upgrade storage and a free case.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh. I normally buy my phones from Samsung anyway, so that's good to know. Cause I'm gonna be going straight to Samsung.com and getting mine directly from them. So I would, you know what? And I'm trying to see if I can get the earbuds to go along with it.
Okay, you want the Buds
The Buds
Pro?
Pro, yeah.
I
I'm
we
giving
can
them one
talk
more
after.
chance. I'm giving them one more chance to impress me. But right now, the first buds are not are all underwhelming. Like they do good for what I need for it to do, which is if I was listening to something, I could put one earbud in at a time. But
Mm,
talking wise, they're terrible.
we can talk off camera. I have a pair.
Oh
It's been sitting in a drawer. That's why.
man, look who's getting the breakdown information. You I'm gonna need you to send me some leaked photos or something.
No, not the first generation.
The first
I
gen.
have. Yeah. Oh, we can talk about it. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
Oh,
Uh,
bro, when I was working at AT&T,
yeah.
I already saw the prices because they brought. Oh, I shouldn't say. Never mind.
Uh oh. We'll talk off camera. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
uh
I'd rather be safe than
Bro,
sorry.
let's talk about this fixed wireless.
oh. Uh oh. All right. So Brandon's ready to go ahead and get to the meat and potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
So Tyrone, a fellow community person that has a YouTube channel by Tech Life,
Channel.
Tech Life channel, was doing a
Channel.
report, and he did a quite lengthy one. Go to his YouTube and look that one up. I think his most recent one is like 23, 24 minutes long, and he leaked out some information that's a bit controversial. Now I don't see it being that controversial, but for some people who don't know how cellular works, uh, some people might not believe me, but I'm gonna go ahead and let Brandon cue it up. So, how do you feel about fixed wireless right now, and what T-Mobile is rumored to be getting ready to do? Which, here go the rumor. Uh, they're going to let anybody sign up for fixed wireless.
But you would have to be data capped if you were not one of the ones that can sign up for the unlimited plan.
Right. So I don't see nothing wrong with this at all.
Why?
Why? Because you're taking advantage of your competition not being ready to do what you're doing.
So why is the reason why the T-Mobile home internet you can't get it in some places?
Because they were geo restricting it depending on how much capacity they had in the area.
Edmund, Edmund, this is how I
So
look at
that
it, bro.
tower, so that tower didn't have that much capacity, so they geo-locked it. So you said
For
they're
the most
trying to
part,
make
yeah.
less. Now, now they're gonna allow customers to, even if that tower is geo-locked and it can't really it doesn't have that much capacity. Now they're gonna add more people on that tower.
Okay.
That's how I see it.
So what you're doing is you're creating a demand for a market that you're already ready to prime. If you're ready to prime that market, then you have a higher advantage over your competition.
But my thing is, T-Mobile doesn't have the money to upgrade all the towers.
How do you figure that?
They're they're the company that's gonna take them longer to do it. They don't need, they don't want to invest.
But see that's what
They
I'm
don't
saying.
have
Like
money to. They can't just throw Verizon money. Here's $500 billion.
you
Fix the
don't
problem.
you don't have to do that. Only thing you need to know is where are the people. Which is like when Tyrone was talking, he was talking about how the representatives are keying people's addresses into the system, right? That means they're going into a database. If you start seeing a cluster of people in an area, and you think that you can target your assets a lot better to absorb more people. So case in point, take where you live, being between Washington D.C. and New Jersey. I mean, in New York, right? But if
Yeah.
there's a whole bunch of people in Jersey that wants home internet, how would you know? how would you even know where to target your assets? Because just like you said, they don't have that type of assets where that you can do the same thing as a Verizon or AT&T does. You need to be able to target the little bit of money you have to get the biggest bang for your buck. There you go.
Mm.
So if you got all these trash cans out here and all of them are using LTE, then you can be like, you know what, it's time to upgrade that tower so that customer stays with us even longer.
One question I have is why does T-Mobile not use uh, the Samsung equipment?
Why
Because
doesn't
Verizon uses Samsung and it's better and they don't have any problems. And they only have to use one vendor.
it comes down to relationships. I mean, I'm not gonna act like Samsung stuff is better because certain reps that we have talked to have said that they've had some issues with Samsung. So Verizon has issues with Samsung stuff too. I
Oh,
mean,
So you,
on paper it might look better, but in real world that's totally different.
so what you're saying is there's no money involved,
What do
but
you mean?
there's money involved with the towers.
The money, the towers and the money are all interchanged with each other.
So what about future congestion?
Future congestion is you go in and you go in there and build out your problem. If you have
but
congestion, you build to solve your problem.
what if there's already congestion, but T-Mobile doesn't want to build
Or
there?
what if there's permitting issues?
Yep. What if there's
I
permitting
don't think
issue?
that's going to be like that. I mean, because
What if
understand
it's
the FCC has already said that they're going to start making it easier for them to
oh, bro, that's not happening at
What
all.
about
That's
the
look,
public
100%.
there are
neighborhoods?
places where there's a lot of pushback, but then there are other areas where the carriers don't have any problems. I'm
Oh,
not going to act like that every place doesn't have problems, but there are
bro,
places where there don't have as much problems.
Even for Verizon, if Verizon wants to turn on a C-band site and put a C-band site, they gotta go through all the permitting,
Yeah,
and then they gotta bend over to the FAA and make sure they're okay with it too.
you know what?
So the
That
permitting
whole
is,
the whole FAA thing, man, that's a mute problem now, because understand people have already
whoa,
reported.
whoa, whoa.
Yes, it is. Look,
So then hold up. That means
there
ours.
are already people in our
So a
community.
Verizon engineer has said that, and it's true. And you know that Verizon engineer,
Yes,
and he told me
and
that, and he
other
told me and no radio that
and
anytime they have
other
to update a tower, they have to go through that process. They have to go
okay,
through the FAA.
and other people have gone to airports while they've been in video chats with us, doing speed tests on C-band at airports. And even when that list of airports came out, there was only a handful of particular airports that C-band was supposedly affecting. It wasn't affecting every single airport. It was only affecting like I think like transportation hub airports. So like cargo airports. So like BWI is a major cargo airport, and Dulles in my area is a major cargo airport. So they were skittish about it, but then they come to find out that it's a big old nothing burger really, and you starting to see C bands starting to show up around those areas. So yeah, there's a little bit of fight, but it's not nothing major right now.
What about the people that live in parts of the Bay Area of California where they're so against cellular
Oh, that's
and
because
and they want fixed wireless?
that comes down to money, dog.
They
California. Look. I did the red light cameras in California, right? I had didn't really do them. I went there as a trainee, but the thing is those municipalities, especially right there in San Francisco, they are super duper anal about all that stuff. And the reason why is because they can squeeze more money out of companies. That's all it is. The whole reason why if Sailor is hard in San
but people in
Francisco,
that area don't like them.
what don't like who? Sailor?
They don't like the towers. They've said
Because
that they're ugly.
that's just what they want their city to look like. You have to build infrastructure that appeases municipalities. It's not going to be the same thing everywhere. A San Francisco is going to have a different demand than a San Diego or a San Antonio or Houston. Like in Houston, hey, they just throw a tower up. The thing can be as ugly as it want to be. Boom, it's a tower up. But in San Fran,
But not all areas are like that.
all areas are different. All areas are completely different. But here's the thing: like when I had to go to San Fran to work on those cameras, the cameras had to look like the light poles in the area. So they didn't want the cameras to look like a camera. They want the cameras to look like a light post. So that's what it is. It comes down to, can you make your product look like the surrounding area? That's all they want them to do. If you are a company and you don't want to conform to it, then guess what? You're going to run into problems. That's pretty much what it boils down to. You don't want to turn your antenna into a church steeple because it doesn't get you a whole lot of coverage, then they're not going to let you do it. That's pretty much what it boils down to. But I just think that a lot of this stuff is just overblown.
Mm.
I mean, when me and Ash were talking about this yesterday, like congestion is a good problem to have, really, because it encourages
No,
you.
it's
Yes, it
not.
is.
No, it's not.
Congestion is a good problem to have. You wanna know why? Because that means that you can target your resources at the problem. What, you want them to just build in the middle of nowhere where there's nobody using the service?
I don't care about there. I care about that. I care about the urban areas.
Right. Well, even in the urban areas, it's all about how you spend money. Here you go, Brandon. You live in a house, right? And somebody
I
comes,
think.
so somebody comes up and tells you that you need to put a new roof on. Well, you just replaced that roof 10 years ago, but you don't see any signs of leakage or anything. How do you know that you got a problem? There's no leaks. You don't have any
That's not
issues.
the that's not the point. The point is that people will. I mean, for example, if you have all these if you're throwing out all these customers, I mean, if you're saying, "Hey, get our fixed wireless" or whatever, and you're heavily advertising it on TV, on ads on phones, and everything else, and you're saying, "Get our fixed wireless home internet," and bam, everybody gets it, and
Hmm.
the freaking towers pulling, I mean, is basically dying, and all these people are calling customer care, and the customer care is basically manipulating the customer, saying, "Oh, it's going to get
You
better,
got
it's
a
going to
you
get
you know you
better."
you know you got a lot of ifs in there, man. If that, if this, and if that. Come on, man. You give them some
But
credit.
it's true. It's true.
His,
I mean,
that
it's like
having
saying that you. It's like saying if you got to prepare for a hurricane.
okay.
When a hurricane
Yeah,
comes, you got
you know the hurricane's coming. You don't put all your assets in Florida when the hurricane hits Houston,
But
right?
I mean, that's why you have insurance.
But what I'm getting at, and I was trying to get Ash to see is this: it is not a problem. It Getting more people on your network lets you invest more. It lets you know how much you need to spend on your network to be able to assume more people. What you supposed to the whole premise that you got to build it perfect before you can do something, that means you'll never start a business. Because how do you supposed to know what your demand is? How do you supposed to know? You gonna sell burgers out the back of your house, but you don't know how many customers you're gonna have. You gotta build your business up. You ain't done no R&D. You did no research. You did nothing. You're just gonna build your business. You don't even know if people in your area
Evan,
like
I'm gonna ask.
burgers.
I'm okay. I'm gonna ask you like this. Let's say you lived in a busy area, and you were just bored. You were just bored, and you're just like, "Oh, my Comcast is a little bit high this month, and I don't feel like negotiating with them. I'm just gonna go with T-Mobile." And you're not tech savvy at all.
Uh huh.
You go to them, and that the representative says, "Oh, it's not available in your area, but let me try this other address." She gives you that. She gives you that home gateway. You plug it back. You plug it on, and it pops on. And 1 minute it's fast, and the other minute it's slow as hell. What do you do?
Depends on what am I trying to do. What is it I'm trying to do with this? Because I understand. I know that I'm not the everyday user. I know this. I know that I'm not the everyday user. I have a different
But I'm
demand
saying
set
that
than
you're
somebody
not the.
else.
I'm saying I'm giving you an example. And I'm saying that you're not the everyday user.
Right.
I mean,
So
you are the everyday user. I'm sorry.
if I'm the everyday user, that means that I'm only thing I do is I'll look at some YouTube videos and I'm on TikTok and I'm video chatting with some people from time to time. So that's the lion's share of a pretty much I consider everyday user. Okay, TikToking, YouTubing, and occasional little onboard game on your phone. That wouldn't never bog down a network. You could have 100,000 of them, and your network wouldn't even burp.
Hmm.
That's what I'm saying. What is like? I feel like your expectation level is you're comparing this to the way that you or somebody else would do something. Like you have Comcast or somebody else house has FiOS and they download half the internet every day. You know what I mean? Those are not the type of users that are going to be using the fixed wireless. Those are not the people. It's going to be more like the people of my parents. My parents literally are just was happy just to be able to load Netflix. Do you get where I'm going at? They couldn't load Netflix. The simplest thing on the world. Load Netflix. Bam. I'm able to load Netflix. I am pleased with my life right now. What more do you want them to ask for? They need to be able to download the internet 15 times a day
Hmm.
through the fixed wireless and bog down the network.
Hey, dude, I'll be right back.
All right, all right. So
It'll probably be about 3 minutes. It'll probably be about 2, 3 or 4 minutes.
all right, no, not a problem. I'm gonna go about to
All
do
right.
this next story.
All right.
Um, let's see here. What I got? What I got? Comcast broadband sub growth. Um, that's a good one. Let's pull this one up. All right, good people. So this one is basically talking about fixed wireless and the competition. Is there competition? Is there fixed wireless pressure on the big cable companies? So a lot of the cable companies' growth has been reported that it's been slowing down. Um, I'm not gonna say stagnant, but they're not growing. The funny thing is they're growing their cellular customers, but they're not growing their footprint as much. So is that due to the fact that fixed wireless is now in the game? Is it giving people you know a secondary or thirdary uh, competition to some of these people, to some of these entities like Comcast, Charter, even AT&T? You know, are they being affected? That's the question. Do you see them being affected? So like with T-Mobile posting like 560 fixed wireless net customers for Q2, right? And even Verizon put up 256,000 net customers. I mean, this is like the opposite effect of what happened to Verizon, where they were losing wireless customers to cable. Now, cable is losing fixed wireless customers to to the mobile carriers. Do you think there might be something there? Do you not think there's something there? These are the questions that kind of puzzles some of us. Like we got some friends that's in the cable industry. They say no. They laugh it off. They go, man, I don't see that really being a problem. We don't really see that being a problem. Wireless is not as capacitive as fiber is. You're gonna run into problems. Other people say, hey, People don't really care. They just want access at an affordable price. So they'll put up with slower speeds. They'll put up with lower latency, just for a peace of mind. And then on top of that, you have a chance to bundle it with your price. So I think that it's like two snakes eating itself right now. The cable industry is eating, the wireless industry by playing the same game, and the wireless industry is playing the same game against the cable industry. So these are the breaks right now. You know, Comcast is actually showing that they could take customers from Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile, yet they're not growing their national footprint as much. So their sub growth flatlines amid fiber because of maybe because of fixed wireless pressure. Maybe I wanna find out from other people, but this is an ongoing story to talk about. All right, let's see here. What's my next story on tap? I wanted to wait until no radio came, but I'm gonna end up having to do this story now. And I mentioned this to the community before. So OnePlus is making a comeback. So if nobody really knows what OnePlus is, it's a cellular phone company that made premium phone ish premium phones at a more affordable price. So the OnePlus 10T is rumored to be, probably not even rumored, to be at 649 to deliver high specs at a low price. So we're talking about the Snapdragon 8 plus 1 gen processor, which is going to be in the Fold 4. So, see, high end specs, but a lower price because the Fold 4 came out at like $1,700. The 10T is talking about being less than $700 and getting 125-watt charging on board, or wireless charging on board. I don't even get that on my phone, and I paid $1,700 for it. Um, Fast refresh rate on OLED. These things would normally be in high end spec, high end, price phones, coming to $700 to a pocket near you. You know, 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage, maybe even 256 gigs of storage, depending on how much you want to pay. So 749. This is just above mid range, but still affordable. Well, I feel like it's still affordable, right? The question is would this phone be appealing to you? Would you buy this phone knowing that maybe it has some top tier stuff in it, but also missing, like, a good camera, no water resistance, photo exposures can be hit or miss. Do you take a lot of photos with your phone? Do you record things with your phone on a daily basis? This phone might not be for you. Or are you like, yo, I just want something that's going to be able to get me through the day. I want to be able to have something reliable. I turn it on, bam, ham spam, thank you, ma'am, and off to the races you go. Do you care? These are the questions that you ask yourself if you want to go a certain way. 10T, $700 price tag, missing some of the top tier stuff. This is the market is a lot different. a whole lot different now when you have more competition. So wireless, wired. The more competition you have, the more offerings you end up getting. So let's pull up this another story. Uh, Close that down. Close that down. Hmm, I had it ready. Oh, here you go. Gotta love, good old Elon. Gotta love him. Come out with all the flash in the pan. Hey, people, come get my Cybertruck. It's gonna be the best thing since sliced bread. Come to find out, it's gonna be a lot more expensive than originally planned. So he said a lot of things during his presentation. Now the Cybertruck is rumored to be costing more than the 39,000. Hold on one second. Costing more than the 39,900 that it originally was showed. Uh, the product volume and date was supposed to be next year. Uh, I am very skeptical about this because he gen up a lot of hype to try to get this, and basically he needed to impress investors to try to get on board if there was a demand for a truck that was electric. And I'm taking that he probably had to send back a lot of people's refunds because of this. But now you got more offerings. You got Rivian, you got Ford in the market now. They're of course not the first to beat the market, but this is just one of those things that Elon likes to do. My personally, overhype. So instead of just working on one and then coming out with different ones later, the 39,900 one supposed to get 250 miles range. 0 to 60 times. Real fast. All these little promises, but nothing delivered. So in the comments below, how do you feel about this? Do you think that Elon is just, full of hot air? I am of the believer that he is, but I am just one of many. Um, I'm looking. I would be happy to see more EVs on the market, but when you do this, when you raise the prices of your cars after you hype them up, trying to make everybody believe in you what you're doing, then it starts looking like vaporware. That's the problem I have. If your car costs $80,000, $100,000, fine. Let them be 80 to 100. But don't sit up here and say, oh, we gonna make the car 39,900 because anything under 30 makes it seem like you're getting a better deal. You put it 39. Ooh man, I'm gonna get me a good deal on this. I find this to be, you know, smoke and mirrors for real. That's just me. But go to the Verge. Listen to what they got to say about it. Read the article. I just think that it's a nice concept. It's a nice idea. Putting something on the market as nothing looks like nothing, automatically gets seen. People are gonna talk about it. I know that since I'm a Uber driver, I literally have customers that talk to, and they say they seen the Rivian and stood in front of it. People taking pictures of the truck, all electric truck. People, this is the thing that people want. Even though a lot of our community don't believe in electric vehicles, but this is what the community wants, for real. So I think that overall, come out with your product. Don't come out and hype it up and then don't deliver. You know what I mean? So that's just my 2 cents on that. All right, give me a second. Alrighty, and I know I've been doing this story. I did this story early in the week, but I'm gonna let this one be my last one if nobody else comes in. Let's pull it up, pull it up, pull it up. If nobody else shows up, I'll let this be the end of it. Block. Gotta feed the algorithm. So Logitech Steam Deck Rival will run GeForce Now and Xbox Game Pass. So this comes from a previous story that I did early in the week, talking about Logitech versus Steam Deck, and me and No Radio see different eye to eye when it comes to cloud gaming versus, um, you know, cloud gaming versus hardware gaming. Let's call it that. People like to have the physical PC with 15 fans and radiators and a GeForce, you know, Nvidia 3080 with the best processor. That's what a lot of people want. Can't change some people's minds, but a lot of people are on the go. A lot of people are not home. So justifying building another computer for me personally is almost not there. I mean, as I try to grow my YouTube channel, it's starting to become more prevalent that I'm going to probably need a lot better hardware. But overall, I still don't can't justify building a dedicated PC for anything right now. And with cloud gaming becoming more prevalent, a lot more than most, it was just so happened the luck of the draw. I ended up getting a customer that worked for Google, and we had a nice little conversation in my car talking about cloud gaming. He could not divulge major information. I wasn't even trying to ask him. I just wanted to let him know that, hey, I was the original founder for Google Stadia. And then we went down and talking about how gamers are fickle. Gamers are a fickle bunch. They don't like anything that changes their mindset. If they've been buying, you know, 1080, 2080, 3080 Ti cards, that's what they're gonna keep doing. They don't care. But for me personally, I have been gaming, trying to figure out how to game on the go all the time, and the holy grail is mobile gaming. Not so much as like in your hands mobile gaming, which is also a plus, but we're talking about I'm in the hotel, I'm at my aunt's house, I'm visiting my cousins who like video games too, but they don't have the latest and greatest console. These things really do matter. And which direction do you see the industry going in? Handheld console that is trying to act like a desktop PC? That's one side. Or the Logitech approach, which is build a hardware that runs cloud gaming software. Nothing's downloaded to your device. Nothing's on the device. It just says, hey, you want to play your favorite AAA games? Play it on the device. No downloads, no uploads, no 400 gig file that you gotta download to play this game. It just turn it on, play the game. That's kind of how I'm leaning towards me personally. Being able to pick up the game. When I play Google Stadia, I play Stadia on my phone. I'm in my car, which I'm planning on doing a series of testing. Which one plays better on what cellular network? I have AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile. Who's it gonna stream better on? When you're at the bus stop or you're at the office and you got a couple of minutes, you want to complete a level real quick. Which device do you see yourself rolling with that's going to be able to let you accomplish that at an affordable price? So I have Stadia. Stadia is technically free to use. You just got to purchase the game, right? Versus buying a Steam game, like the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck, if you wanted to get the best tier one with more storage, I think it comes out like $6.99, right? Which means you got to buy the console, the handheld console, and you have to purchase the device, and that doesn't even include the fact that you got to connect to the internet. It doesn't come with a SIM card tray, so you can connect to the net. You still got to provide all that stuff for it also. Which direction do you see is going to be a lot more prevalent to be able to game on the go, but using the cloud services? You got Xbox Cloud Gaming, Nvidia GeForce, you got Stadia, you got Amazon Luna. These are going to be the major services that are starting to pop up. As Logitech is talking about being able to cater to all those. So an ARM-based mobile gaming system versus the Steam Deck trying to still use, I feel like, antiquated technology. I mean, you got the M1 chips that's inside of Macs that are blowing the doors off, certain types of PCs. That's ARM. If the M1 chip is a prelude to which direction gaming should be going in, lightweight, more powerful. So I'm not sure which direction that anybody else would like to go in, but for me personally, I think that the days of Nintendo is numbered. Like you see here, Sega and Sony gave up on the Game Gear and the PSP because hardware is hard. I'm sorry. People want more. People want more out of their games. Period. You don't want the dumbed down version of the game. You want the full blown version of the game. You put your time and effort into, you know, World of Warcraft. You don't want to play World of Warcraft mobile and none of that stuff carries over.
But the thing is, Edmund, is that people, I mean, you pay double. You basically are paying for almost a gaming PC, and you have the best of both worlds.
Well, in what sense?
Like you're not stuck on a little ass small screen. You're basically you have like a 15, 17 inch monitor.
Well, here's the thing: the beauty of it is being able to scale on any device that you wanted to be on. I mean, here you go. Are you gonna wheel around a 17-inch monitor on the bus if you're on your way to
I mean,
work?
some people will.
Man, that's crazy. That's crazy, man. Ain't nobody walking around with a 17-inch monitor in front of them, some harness so they can play a
I
video
mean,
game.
honestly, dude, if you have a Game Boy and you're 30 or 40 years old and you have a 7 or 8 inch screen and you're playing it like that, you're a little boy.
No. Well, here's the thing. Like, I take this for example, right? And this is why when we were talking, I was talking to Dennis about this, and Dennis was being real stubborn because it was kind of like me talking to him about changing the way he looks at gaming, right? People who don't have $700-800, right? They can't game. But
They
if you can get your hands on a Chromecast Ultra, or you got a cell phone and some of these basic cell phones can run some of these cloud services now.
But most of the time, these people are going to finance phones to the carriers,
Most people
and
are.
they might get an iPad to do all that crap, and then still be able to finance it.
Right. And guess what? They're getting the finance for the device they love, but how many people are financing the new PlayStation? Nobody. And if there's a financing option, it's the worst financing option ever.
Exactly.
Like anybody who's financing or trying to find financing offerings for the Xbox Series One X, Series slash X, something, whatever one that we're on right now, yo, you're it's a piss poor investment. I mean, here's the thing: we're constantly coming out with new phones, right? Check this out: gaming phones from Asus and Black Shark, right? These are starting to become more prevalent in the phone industry right now. Want to know why? Because of cloud gaming. That's the reason why. A Nintendo Switch, Nvidia Shield, a PSP, a Game Gear, all these have gone belly up because people want more from their devices. You don't like understand if you are a kid, yeah, give your kid a Nintendo Switch. You know what I mean? But even they don't really want to use those things. They want their parents' phone.
The only people that I could see getting the Switch are going to be um, parents that are like not trying to give their kid a smartphone.
But here's the thing: it's cheaper to give them a smartphone. You wanna know
But
why?
some parents rather give them a toy than for them to communicate with a stranger.
Look, you could give somebody. You can get. I have smartphones that I don't even use no more that I'm planning on giving to my cousins. They don't got no service on it.
I believe it.
I'm not about to put service on an old phone, but for them, it's better than having nothing.
Yup.
If you ain't got nothing at all, I mean, what you gonna complain about me giving you something for free? And then on top of that, now you have the opportunity to actually play other games that you didn't have access to before. You didn't have to go invest in here. I gave you a free phone that I don't not using no more. That you it can still have some life in it, and now you can sign up for a free service or one of these other services that cost maybe $10 or $12 a month, and now you can start playing video games to your heart's content on a device that you got for free versus paying six, seven, $800 for. There are more people. There are more people like that than in the world than there are people who are willing to buy consoles or build a whole or pay $1,500 to $2,000 for a PC.
Dude, this is why I don't game.
Oh, dog, understand something. That's the reason why a lot of people don't game. The
Hello.
very
No,
hello,
like I don't like it's very time consuming and it's literally a gold digging machine.
not really a gold digging machine. I think that it's about access. The more people that can get
But the
on.
thing is, it's literally access to for them companies to gold dig you because once you stop, maybe once you start, you don't stop.
No, 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 because I play video games. I mean, come on, man.
Mm.
If you if you want if you want to be able to game and seriously game and be competitive at it, then you're in a whole different league. But there's casual gaming, man. Casual gaming is huge. Dog, let me ask you a question. You heard of Angry Birds, right?
Hmm.
And you heard of Clash of Clans. Studios like that make more money than some of these other studios do, and they got the hardcore people because there's more casual gamers than there are hardcore gamers.
Oh shit.
That's the crazy thing. So I don't want to turn around and try to beat a dead horse, but I just think that me personally, a dedicated system that's trying to act like a desktop is not the rail is not the route
Yeah.
because it makes people like you, Brandon, people like yourself, not want to get into it. You look at the price tag and go, "Nah, I'm good."
Honestly,
You're not
dude.
gonna want to do it.
Honestly, I've never been a gamer
But here's the thing.
at
What?
all.
But here's the thing.
At all, and I don't have time to sit there for 8 hours and try to talk with strangers just to get to the next level and all this other crap.
You don't have to do that, man. But you know what you do have to do? You have to. I think that some people should give things a try. Like right now, you got a PC. Do you know that you could try out at least two of these cloud gaming services right now and off your playing off your laptop? You could try it right now and see if you would like any of the games. Like you never know. You might like a little puzzle game from time to time. Something that interests you while you passing the time. Nothing major, but guess what? You already using the things that you already own versus having to go out and buy a dedicated console or even a handheld console to try to do the same thing. That's the comparison I'm looking at. Logitech is just is the yin to the Steam Deck's yang. That's it. That's all it is. Steam Deck and Steam went trying to be super hardcore gaming, and Logitech is like, yo, we're just gonna deal with the cloud gaming. But I just wanted to, bring this up. I had a lot more to say, but I wish that more people could get their hands on cloud gaming to see the truth about this. I mean, there's more casual gamers in the world than there are hardcore gamers. Way
Oh,
more.
I would kill myself if I were a hardcore gamer.
Dog, that's the beauty of it. You don't have to be a hardcore gamer. You can literally just pick up your phone or your device or your iPad or your laptop and play a little bit. You never know. There are indie games out here that will never be on a Steam. That's another problem. Steam is not going to support some of these games. If it don't make them money, they're not going to support it. They're not going to sit up here and put it on their handheld console. But these cloud gaming services are like, yo, indie gamers come one, come all. And I just bought this right here. I don't know if you're looking at the screen. So the Razer Kishi, that's is a
Hmm.
device that I use. Literally, I plug my phone into. So I'm using something I already have to play video games. That's all I have. I have. I'm spending. I spend $1,700 on a phone. Why am I going to buy another $600 device? You see,
Hmm.
that doesn't make any sense. But Brandon, I thank you for putting up with my rant for this evening. I greatly
Hmm.
appreciate it. But anything you want to add before we get ready to go?
I kind of wanted to bounce back to one of the previous articles that you were talking about,
Which one?
as I kind of became kind of got busy.
Oh, you talking about the fixed wireless?
Yes.
Okay. Before we get ready to go, I want to hear from you because I have my own personal opinion, right? And my opinion is just like everybody else's. It really doesn't matter until you start spending money on it. So
Uh-huh.
if you do you see T-Mobile not prospering from this, or do you see it being a problem, or do you what is it? What do you think?
Wait, repeat that again.
The fixed wireless game.
Uh-huh.
Do you think that T-Mobile's over is probably going to end up overselling their network?
What do you mean overselling? Explain.
Like, okay, so the conversation that you and Ash were having, which was um, what is it? That they were going to have too many users in one area, or they were going to bog their system down. You know, too many users, slower speeds is going to be a problem across the board, right? That was the argument, right? Was
I
that
mean, I feel that people. I mean, I feel that T-Mobile is going to oversell. I
but
mean, they've done that. I mean, they've already proven that on the wireless. I mean, they've already proven that on the smartphone side.
you think that's a bad thing?
I mean, it's a bad thing because one modem can connect up to 20 something devices
Uh huh.
versus one phone can probably only connect to what, four or five max. Which, like we've argued before, the average consumer really doesn't use their hotspot like that.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It's all about being able to add more capacity to your network too. It's how can
I
I say
mean, do
it?
you know how DSL works?
Do I know how DSL works?
Where it's unusable sometimes, and you're paying for something that you might not even get.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: the closer you are to the node, the higher your speeds are going to be. The further away from the node you are, the slower your speeds are going to be. So yeah, I mean, for the most part, it. How can I say this? I think that the
I mean,
comparison.
I
I
mean,
think that
don't get me wrong. I'm all for fixed wireless. I'm just like it's
you think it's going to be
it's not
abused.
for everybody.
Do you think that it's going to be abused? That's the question.
100%.
I disagree. I think that
Dude,
over
there was
congestion.
somebody that was using 95 terabytes.
Right, right. And here's the thing: will T-Mobile have to go in and keep and prevent people like that from doing that? Yeah, but the thing is you can do that through network management. You don't even have to do anything to their modem. You just be like, hey, look, you
Okay,
know
so
what?
what should they do with network management?
What should
Do you
they
think
do?
after a terabyte they should manage the network?
Yeah, I think that they should manage the network in the best way they need to. They need to. I
Hmm.
mean that's just basic, network management. You don't want one user to hog all the resources. And then right
Right.
now, like look at it from this standpoint, right? A story like that pops up, okay? Somebody comes up with a story saying that they got 95 terabytes out of T-Mobile. That sounds good, but how often do you think that's going to keep happening? They're not going to keep repeatedly doing that. Some people just want to see people. A lot of people just like to test their
I mean,
boundaries.
if you, I mean, for example, I mean, if the average consumer doesn't have cable, they have cameras, they have their Netflix in 4K, they have their,
Yeah, but Netflix and 4K won't bog down the network either.
I mean, if there are multiple streams.
If there's multiple streams, even if it was multiple streams in one household, it still wouldn't bog down the network. You're talking about terabytes of capacity, gigabit at a cell site, right? If you got network management
But
going
most of the,
on,
but I'm gonna give you a good example, Edmund. In my house, if they, in my house, dude, if I connect to the modem where the N41 is at, it'll connect to it. But
uh-huh.
if I move that, if the average consumer says that their house is eligible for T-Mobile home internet and it's not connecting to N41, it's connecting to something else, then that customer is probably going to be mad.
They're probably going to be mad, but my question to you is this, Brandon: what was that person connected to in the first place? What was their experience before
I
they
have
got?
no idea.
That's the thing. That's the question at hand.
But most of the time, dude, these people are going to be upsold. Sold.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I don't think that a person like you and I look at fixed wireless and go, "Man, it's our savior." Man, I can't believe it. They're coming to rescue me. No, we look at fixed wireless as just another cog in the machine But for somebody like my parents, like I said, I use my parents as a prime example. They stitch
Yeah,
together
those are
that
the people that I want for them to be on fixed wireless.
right. But the question
I
at
don't want
hand,
somebody. I don't want somebody in a busy area that's gonna oversell the damn tower, and pretty much everybody suffers because too many people are on it.
yes and no, because I don't. Here's the thing: if you build your network correctly, right, and the correct way of building your network is finding the demand. You have to find demand for your product. You don't like here you go. Amazon didn't become the powerhouse it is today by just all of a sudden open up shops and everything everywhere. They started off small and then built themselves up. You don't go stick a fulfillment center in the middle of Timbuktu if it's not going to make you money. How do you know you making money in Timbuktu? Oh, look, all the sales that we make are coming from Timbuktu. That's how we're going to make our money. We go put a fulfillment center in the middle of Timbuktu then. No Radio is in Greensboro. He said that he's seen like 5 fulfillment centers. Maybe the people in Greensboro really like their Amazon. Don't you think? But
Mhm.
10 years ago, Amazon, you how would you find your people? You need data. And doing the fixed wireless the way that T-Mobile is supposedly reportedly getting ready to do it, yes, it gives them data. Where do we put money in the United States to make ourselves bigger? That's the question. If you're not asking yourself that question, you're doing it wrong. Period. If you're not asking yourself where are the people at so we can make money off of them, how do you find the people? Do you walk outside with 2 sticks and hope it points to the people? Or do you gather up a whole bunch of data even if it means overselling the product you already have? That's what they're doing. That's what they're perceived to be doing. Let me make sure I'm being, correct about it. That's what they're perceived to be doing. Is they are literally saying, "Come one, come all." We're going to create a problem, and then we're going to build our network to fit the problem. Not you build the network, put a whole bunch of resources and stuff, and then you might end up overshooting a whole area because you built in the wrong area, wrong place. Do you see what I'm getting at?
Mhm.
So
I
you're,
don't know, dude. I mean, I know that my tower, dude, it has it's already having congestion issues.
bruh. If I were you, go to one of the guys that has come up with these test files and whatever, and you should bog down that antenna just so they can get them come out there and
Bro,
review
I've
it.
seen Carlos S. Tech bog down the damn tower, dude.
Hey, you need to ask him
He
how
he
to
went
do it.
from 500 to he went from 500 megabits to 2 to 300 to 2 to 3 megabits, and sometimes the speed test wouldn't even load.
And you know what? If I were you, if you want to get
If you
more, if
multiply
you
if you multiply that by users of what they're doing on the network, then we're screwed.
no, no, no. But I just say that's not a real world case. That's not real world,
But you have to think about it, dude. I live in a major city.
right? And it's
If
still
I
not real
lived
world.
in Mississippi, Mississippi out in the sticks, then I wouldn't care.
But Brandon, I bet you $100,000 that if I looked at your utilization on your modem, you probably don't even come close to 500 megs a day.
I mean, that's not the point. The point is reliability is going to erase itself.
But how's that not the point? The point is, if T-Mobile is reportedly thinking about doing this, that means that they have enough data on. Here you go, here you go. Speculate in the opposite direction. They got people who are in good areas that have
I'm gonna
N41.
give you a good. I'm gonna give you a good example. Tech Extremist, somebody I forgot EM Tech. They already said those areas have 140 megahertz.
Okay.
But they're getting the same speed. I mean, they're getting the same speed as they did with 100 megahertz.
Yes, and do you know the reason why?
Why?
Because T-Mobile doesn't have to juice the site.
No, what's the point of overusing spectrum when it's the same speed as 100?
What do you mean?
They're getting the same speed as they were on 100 on 100 and 140.
Yeah, but guess what? It doesn't cost T-Mobile anything to broadcast the spectrum they already bought. Only thing it costs the money
So
is
then
how much.
why are they gonna turn on an extra 40 megahertz when it's doing the same damn thing?
It's doing the same thing because they're probably not seeing a lot of utilization on that tower yet.
So then why turn it on?
Well, then why not? I mean, here's the thing. Why? Let me ask you a question, Brandon. If just because your car can go 100 miles an hour, do you always push it to 100 miles an hour?
Sometimes.
You're a crazy man, sir. You're a crazy man. You're not pushing your car to 100 miles an hour all the time.
Sometimes I will go 115, 120.
You risking getting a speeding ticket, man. You don't seem like the type of person
Oh,
that's risk
bro,
averse.
that's why we have apps.
Look, you don't seem to be the type of person that takes on a lot of risk. You know what I mean? But
The
look,
point is, uh-huh.
what my point is this is, and a lot of people in the community keep talking about this, is that same mindset that you have about T-Mobile, you should have it about Verizon because 800 megahertz of anything gets you 8 gigs. Okay,
Uh-huh.
so if you look on your phone and you're at your carrier aggregating 800 megahertz of millimeter wave, but only getting 3 gigs of data, then Verizon's not doing the same exact thing.
Uh-huh.
So my question is what do you need access to 8 gigs for when you don't even know what to do with 3? Even better yet, same question, same exact question. What do you need 1.5 gigs of midband when you don't even know what to do with 10 megs? If I gave you 10
Uh,
megs and you wouldn't even, if you didn't do no speed testing and the tower was only doing 10 megs, you wouldn't even notice it if you were doing your everyday, short of doing test files. If you're doing test files because you want to bog down the internet, you're not a normal user. But the only thing that I can think of that the reason why T-Mobile would even think about doing this is because they see that people are in a good area with 6 and 7 megabits per second, and they're only using 5. Remember, they can see how much data you're using.
but this is this is one device itself.
Okay.
This is not 20. I mean, this is not 3 to 6 devices used at one time on on a like you're multiplying.
Yeah, but they can see that information. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. They can see
So
what
they
people are
have a
doing.
so their towers are future proof and they can do anything.
I didn't say they're future proof. I'm just saying that at current utilization right now, case in point, because we're doing a lot of speculation. Okay, case in point, if T-Mobile is really going to come out with is going to let anybody use their network at any, if it's on LTE or on 5G, which this is what it means. This is exactly what it means. Is that the people they already have on their fixed wireless aren't even scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Mm.
If this becomes true, that's what it means. That's exactly what it means. There's not The Dennises and the Carloses of the world are not on their network. Okay, it's the
But
everyday
if there's
person.
that one dumb person that goes over there and signs up for the service and they're upsold, those are the ones that are going to attack the network.
Right,
If you
but
have your planet Earth and all them other people go on there, then we're pretty much screwed.
no, 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 you're not screwed. You're not screwed at all. Here's the question: if you got a whole neighborhood full of people that the cable companies haven't even decided to touch, AT&T fiber hasn't got to them, and you got this whole community, you got a whole town, right? You got a whole town that hasn't seen internet since the internet was invented, but they would love to be online. And you got that one tower that can provide internet to all of them, even if it's LTE. And the most they're doing is 5 megabits per second amongst 300-400 people in that small little town. That's a upsell investment, dog. That means that you cornered the market where your competition is not even coming to. Is probably don't even not even forecast to come to in a long time.
Mm.
That's what you're missing. That's what I feel like a lot of people are missing. Is you have to look at it from a competitive standpoint. Verizon's in the fixed wireless game too, but Verizon can't
I mean, I'm gonna
scale.
give you a good example, bro. If you buy a two-bedroom house in North Carolina,
Uh huh.
and your wife says, "Let's make babies," what are you gonna do?
I'm probably gonna have to learn how to build extra onto my house.
But you realize that the wood is so goddamn expensive,
Well, that means I'm gonna have
and
to
the
buy.
material.
I'm gonna have to figure out a way to buy my wood from somewhere else. And understand,
Mm.
I'm from North Carolina. You can, if I have a plot of trees on my land, I'm gonna try to turn that stuff into building materials.
Mm.
And yes, you can do that. As long look, if the if as long as you're not destroying somebody else's property, it's fine. But that's what
I
that.
guess it
But
really.
that's the thing. You don't build your house for the family you wish you have. You build your house with the possibility to grow your family with the house you can afford right now.
Uh,
Everybody kind of wants to be able to like the concept behind business is you gotta wait until you do it right. What's right? I can tell you what's wrong. Verizon losing 12,000, making only getting 12,000 customers, and they're on the verge of getting ready to axe Hans
dude,
Vesberg.
I don't. Dude, honestly, I don't even care about that
But it's
because I
about
know
money.
eventually it'll fix itself.
But it's about money and competition.
Dude, I don't care about the competition right now. To be honest with you,
You should.
everybody, huh?
You should care
Why?
because the more
Their
competition,
prices
the
are
more
almost all about the same.
more competition, lower prices.
Y'all want them $50, $40 damn plans.
Yeah, and I want to be able to do a whole lot more than just look at my phone and go, man, I would love for it to be able to do hotspot. I want unlimited hotspot. Instead of me begging them and please
Oh
give me unlimited
shit.
hotspot, now it can come to pass.
Bro, you want unlimited hotspot, you want congested towers, you
It's
want
not going to be
everybody to be
congested,
connected
man.
on T-Mobile, you want the government to give out free Chromebooks.
Uh, Brandon, you're never going to let me live that Chromebook down, are you? Which I don't expect you to, because I understand. I
Hold
believe in
on.
the cause.
But going back. Like it's all boring to me now.
Why is it boring?
Because y'all are over here fighting for cheaper pricing.
You supposed to fight
And
for
yet the
cheaper
cost of
pricing.
living is going up, huh?
You supposed to fight for cheaper pricing.
How?
Because do you
In a
want to? Do
couple of
you?
years, T-Mobile is not going to be the cheapest anymore.
Oh, I don't foresee them raising their rates at all, dog. I don't see them
Mm.
raising their rates. And anybody who reports on it, otherwise, is just just looking to just stir up trouble. That's all.
If Mike Sievert leaves and they get a Stanky or a Hans Vestberg, they're screwed.
They're not.
I mean, they're not screwed. The consumer is screwed.
No. Number one, they're not going to raise prices. Like the whole idea of
They
being.
already, but hold on.
Oh
Remember, it
Lord.
was like 4 or 5 months ago. They made a thing where they said that we wouldn't raise pricing, but if you on this certain day upgrade or do something to change it, they reserve the right to change your pricing on your plan.
Yes, and that's not raising pricing. Nobody is forcing nobody. Look, here you go. Here you go. I have an AT&T and Verizon phone plan, right? They said that they're going to add on an extra administrative fee on both my lines. That's raising prices. You going into the store and going, Dag, you know what? I'm on Magenta. Let me go to Magenta Max, but I want to keep the same price that I was doing before. I might be getting 2 or 3 more phones. You still want the same price? That's you can't make money that way. And the fact that they had to come out and say it is just that lets me know that people really do expect that. Why do you have to tell people like, yo, you want more, you got to pay for more? Sorry, that doesn't make any sense. They didn't raise prices. They just basically saying like you go in there, you add another phone, your price is gonna go up, right?
All I'm saying is the cost of business is not getting cheaper.
Cost of business is overpriced in the first place. But look, understand something.
But there's
If you listen to Tyrone's video, yo, he's saying something I told him was gonna happen before after the merger closed. I said to him on his not
so
podcast, but I
what was
said
the
to him, I
point of
said
them
that
buying?
here. Wait, hold
What
on,
was the
hold on, Brian,
point
hold
of them
on.
buying Sprint Corporation?
What was the point of T-Mobile buying Sprint?
Mm-hmm.
It won. It Sprint realized that they could not do it alone. You have to understand if you're in business and you realize you can't compete in today's market, then why do you keep going? Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So here you are an investor in Sprint. Do you want to see them be sold for parts and you don't make no money off of them? So to save your assets, you merge with another company. T-Mobile had the hype and the ability to had the pretty much put it like this. Sprint had the resources, T-Mobile had the fame. Sprint was where T-Mobile was like 10 years before. They had a good 3G network. I could drive around and I had service. It was just as good Verizon was. But they lost favor with customers. Customers wanted cheaper. Customers wanted better pricing. Customers wanted more affordability. But Sprint had a lot of assets. It costs money to spend on assets. Now, guess what? A company comes in and grabs it up, and they can utilize those resources to better to be a better competition. I know you keep talking about you don't care about our competition, but guess what? Competition matters, dog. Competition really matters. And for you to dismiss it, I don't know how they else to get at you to see it. Because the more competition you have in a space, we're not talking about having 15 cellular companies. Let's change the whole idea of what competition is. Competition is not having 15 cellular companies doing wireless. We shouldn't even had entertained the whole idea that Dish became a wireless carrier, because only thing that's going to really do is just muddy the waters even more. But three viable carriers was the perfect scenario for um for the United States. That means you got three companies fighting for your business. Which company is going to gain your business is the question. If you're in Houston, You got access to AT&T, you got access to T-Mobile, and you got access to Verizon. Which one do you want? That's the question.
I
I
mean, at
do,
this point, they're pretty much all the same.
but dog, I literally do video. I do speed testing videos. I want people to see what they're paying for. If you live in my area and pay for Verizon, you're getting the shaft. When I get ready to go to New York and do some speed testing up there, and I find out that T-Mobile's really killing it, and you live in New York and you paying for AT&T, and AT&T's barely getting 10 down and 15 up, or barely doing anything. Why are you spending your money? That's the question I want to know. Why are you spending your money when you can have better? Consumers drive market. If the consumers don't like what you're doing, they're not going to spend their money with you. That's just basic economics 101. Nothing else,
Mhm.
point blank, period. I just don't understand people sometimes. Like, it, people think that it's hard to switch your number. If you're not if you got the carriers are now basically paying you to switch. They're paying off your phone to switch. What's the problem?
Yeah. No, 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 no. Uh huh.
But that's just my take. Is I do the speed testing videos so people can see that it's a viable third now. I have conversations in my car with customers, and they ask me, so after you doing all these speed testing, what do you find? T-Mobile in DC is reign supreme right now. Verizon looks like garbage, and I have the proof to show it. AT&T look like they're barely doing anything. I have the proof to show it. But that's just for DC. Yes, it's easy to say, well, your market. That's what I can hear Ash in my ear right now saying, but that's your market. That's your market though. But I bet there's more markets like mine that are out there.
Mhm.
So that's my question. Do you want to constantly be paying overpriced for something that the competition is actually not charging that much for? Like me, here you go. What about when you told me how I need
I mean,
to
at this
lower
point,
my
it's more
cable
about
bill?
value, huh?
Yeah, but what about when you were talking to me about how I should lower my cable bill? You were like, "Hey, you should hit them up on Twitter and call and text um, Comcast, and they'll give you a better rate." Why would you tell me all that if it doesn't really matter? I backed you up in the corner. Ha! I got you back, Brandon. Nanny, nanny, nanny.
No, but but hold on, hold on, hold on. The thing is that oh my god, you know how to explain. The thing is that y'all like. I mean, there is competition, but it's not good.
Well,
Like you have Verizon that overvalues itself and is giving you all the streaming services, and then you have T-Mobile that is literally only giving you Netflix and a basic one, and then you have
uh huh,
AT&T that doesn't even give you nothing anymore unless you're on Cricket.
right. And I see where you're going, but the question at hand is not. It's still about competition. Competition in a space yields better pricing and better deals for other people, for the customer. Instead of, iPhone on us, now it's two iPhones on us. Well, you might have a friend that wants a phone. They on Cricket or they're on, Metro, and they can't afford a phone. They got a little flip junk that's been, that's outdated, antiquated. You able to help them? All because you got two phones. You didn't even need the second phone. You still got it. Is that bad? Is that wrong?
They probably make more money off of you buying the free phone. to
Hey, look. The thing is it's about companies seeing how valuable you are. And the fact that T-Mobile is looking to tank their network. Let's say it what it is. They're willing to tank their network to beat their competition. I'm down for it. Let them do it. Blow a mud hole directly into your network, and then you build it up so the mud hole don't exist. That's the best way to do it. That's just me. I don't know about anybody else, but that's just me. Though I know that I probably have not satisfied your curiosity on this subject, but that's just how I feel. Anything else on your mind, Brandon?
Uh,
Did you say no?
no.
Hey, the conversation continues, sir. I know we're gonna come across something else is gonna pique our interest again. But hey, I thank you for sticking with me, man. I'm grateful to have you as a friend and standing by me while I'm doing, trying to get this little bit of YouTube TV, YouTube fame off the ground.
Yeah.
But hey, if anybody is with us to the right now, thank y'all for watching. Um, like, share, and subscribe. I feel so weird saying that. Like, share, and subscribe. I mean, I do need the likes, I do need the shares, and I do need the subscribes. So, thank y'all in advance and watch some more videos. I got more speed testing videos coming out and more news for people who want to keep up what's going on. Thank y'all for coming.